the oldest continually operating stadium. To look inside Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and Green Bay Packers. Here comes the Falcons set to take over here. Beginning on the ground with Patterson. And that's not the start that he was looking for, as he's going to be met and dropped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
On second down, a run with Patterson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
You can bet they're not going to go away from the running game anytime soon, but this is obviously not a good start. 2 carries, 2 runs, both stopped for a loss.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Well, that's not the way you want to start. A first pass and a first drop all in one.
Well, you've got plenty of time to make up for it, but obviously not the way you want to get this started. Got to shake that off and get going.
On fourth, Pinion on to punt for the... And a fair catch taken back near about the 36-yard line. 37 yards on the turn. And it'll be football here. First down. So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Rodgers now to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Man coverage is certainly a staple of their defense, and it's built for plays like that, forcing that incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throw, it's Rodgers. Open man left side, it's the tight end Tunyon. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And not a whole lot of room to operate on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out. Tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but both sides, they had to walk away from that field and think, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And here's Jones on second down. Room here to run. He's get this to the 30, but taken down. 20 and a first down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate over on that race. It shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come with the idea, slow him down. It's going to be a long afternoon.
Throw on first down is Rodgers. He sets to fire, and this one is incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try and throw some air on and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers to throw. And able to find Allen Lazard. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. They'll leave him with a third. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And they'll get this down to the 10. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
They brought in the heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play, but we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one, wound up hitting him for a first down.
So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Packers are on the board first here this afternoon. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Taken in at the 3. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses. Without
a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Yeah, this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Off the play fake, Mariota. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
They tried to throw on second down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1. On play action, Mariota. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3 and out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
Mariota now to throw on first down. Flush to his right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on first down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mariota. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. They go play action. Mariota. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
When tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. You know, put a little sand down on the stage.
I'll take your word for it, my man. And now the third down throw incomplete as well.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. Pass caught. It's Romeo Doubs. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, as a coach, you absolutely love seeing your offense find their rhythm early, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. They had a touchdown on their opening drive, and now they connect here for another nice gain for a 1st down. This offense is moving the ball well, exactly as he drew it up in practice.
That's the corner. A.J. Terrell getting up and stopping him for a loss.
When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. 52 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now a draw play. This is Jones. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Now it's Rodgers. He's got Watson. It's caught. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. 26 yards. And the Packers are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. And now, of course, all scoring plays are reviewed, and I think they're going to take an extra long look at this one. Now Crosby for the point after. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. From out of his end zone, it's Avery Williams. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. From the gun, Mariota. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Another try after the first down sack. Mariota forced out to his left. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
I certainly like what he did right there, because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
3rd and long here for Mariota. And that will be incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
On now to punt. Here's Bradley Pinion. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. Stops shy of the 45. Showed off a nice little move on the play, though. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Back for the second quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they are looking at a 2nd and 5 situation. And he'll get maybe a couple, if that, up to the 46.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
The Packers on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. Here it's 3rd and 3. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Able to find Lazard. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Grady Jarrett with the tackle.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. That's complete to Dobbs. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 30. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
Well, they obviously read man coverage their partner, and he got downfield and broke down the defender. Made him
what do you
think,
mean by that, Bert?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
Rodgers throw into the hands of Cobb. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
2nd down and 3. They go back to the ground with Jones. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. 80 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Throwing now is Rodgers. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. But that's Grady Jarrett who forced his way through to register the sack. The 1st and goal looked like things were set up nicely, and now all of a sudden on 2nd and goal, Charles, a big challenge ahead of them.
And you have to know when you're this close to the goal line, things are going to happen faster, so you've got to get the ball out quick. Not going to have much time in the pocket before the defenders bring pressure.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And incomplete on the deep ball.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
So now on 4th down, Rodgers will give way to Mason Crosby for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 33. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but well, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Mariota. This pass is caught by London. And out across midfield down to the 45. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
Mariota on first down. That one caught along the sideline. Did he stay in? Yes, he did. But hang on here. A penalty marker is on the field. Okay, so the personal foul penalty. And those are some important yards lost right there.
Yeah, it all comes down to discipline, doesn't it? And every team tells us that they coach it, they preach it. In this case, it slipped a little bit.
So now a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Throwing is Mariota. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
To the air again, Mariota. Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. So he got 9 yards that time, but he needed 10, and it brings up 4th and 1.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
And he's able to pick up the 1st down before he's tackled right at the 10. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. I love those plays. 4th and 1, that's who wants it more, this time the offense.
Yeah, there's a lot of hooting and hollering in there, right? A lot of contact and a lot of collisions as they try and find some space. Who's going to drop their hips, gain leverage, and move the other side backwards? We saw it there for the offense getting it done.
And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move, and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket. Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. And he is goes into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Marcus Mariota taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Falcons get a bit closer. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown.
Let's go do this thing, baby. Do your thing. This is the calm before the storm, baby.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. Nixon elects not to return it, and this comes out to the 25. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met. They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw here pulled in by Lazard. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. They'll go again to Jones. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 102 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. To throw is Rodgers. He'll get this to Lazard. And he'll get this to the 22. So they began the play at the 11, and it's a gain of 11. First down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
On first down, Rodgers. And Lazard's got it again. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Giving back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
Do our thing.
Now Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
He's already found the end zone once in this half, and they do a nice job there pushing him backwards and denied his bid for a second score.
Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Now Rodgers. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete.
Now we got 3rd and goal coming up, and couldn't you imagine being in that huddle, partner? You know they're looking at each other saying, we can't come away with just 3 points after this drive.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. They want more than that 3. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. Here's Rodgers to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
So now on 4th down, Rodgers will give way to Mason Crosby for the field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So a nice kick there as they are able to add on to their lead.
And that's exactly what you're looking to do. Maneuver yourself into range. That way, if your drive stalls out, you're able to get something out of it. And they do so right there.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. This fielded right at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Mariota. Throw out right, taken in by Patterson. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Play fake. Mariota. Steps away to his left. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Throwing back across his body. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. He'll complete this one to Watson. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers out of the backfield. This is Aaron Jones. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on second down.
So on second down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This is a 49-yard attempt, right hash. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And the Falcons going to get one more drive here in this first half. 1 second, all that remains. Well, the white flag coming out as they line up to kneel on it. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Nixon elects not to return it, and this comes out to the 25. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. But Charles, for them, pretty good first half on the ground. They had some success running the ball in quarters 1 and 2. Breaks the tackle, now an alley. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
A throw over the middle taken in, and they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. That's complete, and once again, it's Cobb. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 34-yard line. Rodgers to Cobb, good for a Green Bay first. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets, because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A very solid gain of 27.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taking them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
Throwing is Rodgers. Buying time to his left. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there. It's 2nd down.
Oh, partner, just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Dillon. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? Rodgers going to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
So now on 4th down, Rodgers will give way to Mason Crosby for the field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will extend their lead even further. And they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
Let's go do this thing, baby. Let's roll.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. Taken in at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So we get set to start this 3rd quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now. First and 10 now for the Falcons, and Mariota right at the 30. Now Mariota. Throw caught here by Bird. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
Mariota's throw taken in by London. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Algier. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 39, Mariota into the hands of London. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 29-yard line. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
They go play action. Mariota rolling to his right. Oh, nice move. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain.
Give him a little extra credit there. His head was cool as the play broke down. Didn't force a throw, and in the end, got to show off his athleticism with a nice gain to bring up a new set of downs.
Mariota now. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Olamide Zaccheaus. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Falcons are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. Coup for the extra point. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Now he's hit on the return. It's a loose football. Well, do you want to unpack that one, or do you want me to?
You're the boss.
We get the interception, then really he's just too loose with the football on the return, and he coughs it right back up the other way.
I've seen this happen in an NFL game, and boy, did it cost someone. San Francisco at Atlanta a few seasons ago. Atlanta throws the interception. San Francisco runs it back. Game is salted away. Fumbles on the return. Atlanta gets it back. Drives down, kicks the game-winning field goal.
How about that? And a crazy situation we just saw there. Working with 2nd and 5 now. Working from the gun. Rodgers. He'll find Lazard here over the middle. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
An inside give to Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the 3rd quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances, so they need to toughen up and keep them out of the end zone.
They'll try again with Jones. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Aaron Jones with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Packers use the short field to get in for 6. Extra point try now for Crosby. And that one makes this a 19-point game. after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So out come the Falcons now. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
On second and inches, Mariota. And this is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now it's a bootleg with Mariota. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Rasul Douglas picks it. And the Packers will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. Rodgers now on first down. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
The defense did its job of taking away a quick throw, but that's only half the battle because they've got to get to him before he can make a run for it. A little bit late containing him there, so he makes a nice gain out of a play that looked like it was in trouble.
To throw again on second down. Rodgers. This throw nearly intercepted. Oh, the big D lineman almost had it. But third down coming up.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Up the middle, Jones. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave him with some options here on 4th and inches. Here's Pat O'Donnell now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Throwing, Mariota. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defense a credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw, Mariota. Complete to Zacchaeus. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. So the completion good for 7 there. And it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
He'll begin the drive with a give to Jones.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Second down, another shot for Jones.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
He's having a big game running the football, but that one will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him to contract negotiations, doesn't he?
2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. Rodgers now to throw.
This one swung out here to Jones.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. On the return is Williams. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Lambeau. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd down, Mariota.
Pass complete to Bird out right here. And he is going to have a Falcons 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that
way. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Mariota.
That's going to be caught by Pitts.
And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers 35. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
Good call there on first down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years at not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
Mariota again. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
Remember, throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Mariota to throw it. Going up top. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
In a game that hasn't gone your way, you've got to throw in the end zone at every opportunity and hopefully climb back in as much as possible. He put way too much on that throw, though, and that shot ends up with nothing.
That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and the deficit will stay at 3 scores. You know that they were thinking second-half comeback here. That's a big miss if they want to have a chance at that comeback.
A very big miss because time is becoming a real factor now, and they're 3 scores down.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 122 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
There to stop him on the defensive side, Lorenzo Carter.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. How about this? They'll try the option, left side. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. Nice pickup, 10 yards and a first down on the keeper. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. And let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys are just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
This carry, despite the extra effort, will be stopped short of the 10. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Caught on the right side by Jones.
And the Packers are going to have 1st and goal coming up as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 2.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another 1st down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
On the delay, Jones. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
But down here near the goal line, you don't think of a cornerback in run coverage, but he made the stop.
Yeah, most of the cornerbacks we know, they want to be those pass defenders and take away one half of the field. But the best ones in the game are the complete cornerbacks, able to tackle and run support, as we just saw there.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Touchdown, Packers! Samori Toure from 3 yards out as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
That was quite the call down around the goal line on 4th and goal.
Yeah, they fake the run, pull it out, throw it, and as a defense, I've been in that spot before, and we see it all the time. You almost have to overcommit against the run. You have to almost sell out and say, they're going to run it, go make a play. They got fooled on that one.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Atlanta prepped and ready for its next possession. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
A 2nd down throw here for Mariota. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
The offense on 3rd down, they're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing is Mariota. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
They'll try and run for it. And this winds up a disaster, nowhere near the marker. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Like any team, they would have loved to have had more yards on that run, but it looks like they just want to get to the 2-minute warning and see what they want to do after that.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. Oh, he left that one in a bad spot, but fortunately it's just an incompletion and not picked to bring up 4th down.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit too.
The kick by Crosby is good. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback. The Falcons ready to take over. CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
17 yards is the pickup there for number 17.
And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a 1st down.
Well, we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline, because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
At this point, down bit, and now it appears that the referee's been buzzed, and we'll get a review. And this being inside 2 minutes of play, everything coming from up above.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Here's Mariota. Over the middle, complete. It's Bird. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 37. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. To the air again, Mariota. Zacchaeus here hauling it in. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 27-yard line. Give them 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Mariota on first down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Here's 2nd and 5 now from the 22. Running left, here's Patterson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Mariota. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? Now, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. Desperation time. Mariota on 4th down. He's going to have his running back. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And when you break it down, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting. But obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You know, you just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.